The general art of deception is based on appearing weak when you are strong and strong when you are weak. Sun Tzu believed that deception is the foundation of all warfare. Deception is defined as causing others to believe what is not true. In the military, deception is used to fool the enemy. The mistakes that the enemy make from the deception plan can result in victory for the underdog deceivers. Military deception tactics date back to the 12th and 13th century during the Trojan War. To end the war, the Trojans built a large wooden horse to give to the Greeks as a peace offering. Little did the Greeks know, the Trojans were hiding within the horse, waiting to attack. When the Greeks began to celebrate the end of the war, the soldiers escaped the wooden horse and attacked the city. The Trojan horse was the main reason the Trojans were able to defeat the Greeks and remains a major military deception achievement. Today, militaries use more modern and advanced deception tactics like Operation Bodyguard during World War II. Deception is not a tactic used in all warfare, but is simply a tool in the deceiver's toolbox. When an army is in a position where they are almost guaranteed to lose, whether a major force is about to attack them, or if the army has made poor choices before, the leader will choose deception to affect the outcome of the war. Deception was famously employed in World War II in early 1944. Since Hitler was a powerful leader of a huge successful army, the Allies chose deception to overcome them. The Allies created a fake army led by George Patton and convinced Hitler that the attack would occur at Pas de Calais. While Hitler's army was distracted by the fake tanks and airplanes, the Allies were able to put together the largest invasion force in history in southern Britain. The gathering of soldiers in complete secrecy gave the Allies the edge they needed. Careful planning must be done to ensure a positive outcome given any variables. The first step in the planning process is mission analysis. The deceiver must observe their surroundings and study their enemies. This first step is important because if the situation is not observed correctly, then the rest of the plan may fail. The wide range of deception techniques that a leader can choose from makes deception a flexible tool. The most common plan, however, is the feint. A feint was used for the D-Day deception plan when the Allies decided to look like they would attack Pas de Calais, but then they actually attacked Normandy. After choosing the best plan for the situation, armies have to decide what supplies they need and how to get them. Resources and access are important factors to consider. The Allies actually had to have all their weapons and food shipped secretly from America to keep the plan secret from the enemy. Taking every detail of planning into account is very important to the outcome of war. After reviewing the plan and getting all the troops and resources together, they must make sure the plan adheres to the many principles of deception. The principles of deception are important to the outcome because following the rules and orders of deception will result positively. One of the most important principles of deception is understanding the target. If you understand the target through culture or perspective, you can modify the operation to effectively fool the target. Mao Zedong, who was the leader of the Chinese army, theorized that an army needs to know their own army as well as the enemy's in order for deceit to be successful. Using the enemy's beliefs to the deceiver's advantage is also an easy principle for deception. In World War II, the Allies used Hitler's beliefs that the attack would happen at Pas de Calais and reinforced it by setting up a fake army. After Hitler was thoroughly convinced, they shifted the attack on Normandy. In World War II, security was crucial because occupied France and Britain were so close that information could easily travel to the enemy. Security became so high that the pilots were not even told the exact mission until moments before the bombing operation. A deceptive attack should be original and creative, otherwise an enemy may see it coming. When these principles are taken into consideration during planning, the execution creates a positive outcome for the deceiver. The execution is the final and most important step where everything comes together. When executing military deception, following orders and keeping secrets will be the key to victory. Keeping the plan a secret for as long as possible makes the plan even more deceptive. During the Korean War in 1950, the Chinese only marched at night and used camouflage for cover during the day. Using media is the basis of technical military deception execution. After the initial lie, the deceiver may choose to overload the enemy with information. A tactic called sensory saturation is designed to continuously fool the enemy with false information or even have multiple surprise attacks in a variety of places. In World War II, the execution was perfect. The Allies had the renowned military leader General Patton lead a completely fake army. This was very convincing because his reputation in radio traffic told the Germans that Patton would lead the fake army. He was very experienced preparing armies for war, so the Germans focused on defending against him. To add authenticity, the Allies paid people to create inflatable tanks and wooden aircraft to fool Hitler. The deception tactic was executed fantastically and ultimately resulted in Hitler failing for the Allied deception plan and the Allies taking back Normandy. This plan was absolutely necessary to defeat Hitler on D-Day. Though Operation Bodyguard shows that deceit can result in huge victories, the deception plan could end either with failure or meet the deceiver's exact expectations. Failure can come in many ways. The most common is the enemy discovering the plan because of poor understanding of the enemy or incomplete preparation by the deceivers. The plan also could be anticipated by the enemy if it is too simple. However, a very complex plan could result in errors that lead to the deceiver's downfall. Without proper planning, the negative results are already clear. Loss of control is also associated with poor planning. Without proper security and execution, the plan is clearly going to fail, and the deceiver has a high chance of losing the war. Of course, there are much simpler ways that a deception plan could go wrong, which is bad luck. Hitler believed that the attack would happen at Calais, and ordered his troops to cover Calais, but his officers denied his suggestion. If the officers had listened to Hitler, the outcome of World War II could have been very different. Military deception has advanced and formed principles, planning steps, and various execution techniques. If the deceiver does it right, like the leaders of the World War II invasion of Normandy, deception is absolutely necessary to war. It creates an opportunity for a smaller, weak army to stand up against a strong force and take them down using military deceit.